Hi, I'm Tom McGinnis. I'm a Walsh alum. I graduated in August of '86. I went to work for Deloitte right from Walsh. In fact, I started as an intern, well, still at Walsh, and I recently retired as a partner at Deloitte after 35 years. And I tried to stay as active as I could in Walsh during my career and trying to stay active in it now because it's a great institution. I'm married. I have two boys. I've been married for a long time, 30 some years, to Marianne. She and I were dating while I was at Walsh. So she's very familiar with my passion for Walsh as well. My two boys are 25 and 22, both Michigan State grads, and they're off starting their careers to be successful young men. So I was one of those kids back then that thought life was free and fun, and I took advantage of that. After I barely got out of high school, I started at Oakland Community College. And after that, for a couple of years, I went to Central for a year and a half, and I was going to be a rock and roll disc jockey. I was on the radio at Central, I was on the radio at Oakland Community College, and that's what I really wanted to do until I realized, that probably wasn't going to be the lifestyle I really, really wanted. And so one morning I was talking to my dad over a cup of coffee in our kitchen in our house in Troy, Michigan. And he said, "Tommy, why don't you try Walsh College and becoming an accountant?" And I said, "Sure." So we drove over to Walsh. We met with the admissions people that morning, and I got into Walsh, and the rest is history. So I think the answer to the question is I picked it because I wanted something that was going to challenge me, that was going to get the potential out of me that I think I knew was there, and I know my dad knew was there, in an environment that would really pull that potential out. And the environment of Walsh was a perfect fit for doing that for me. Well, look, so yeah, I got the accounting degree, and I passed the CPA exam. So that in and of itself is huge, right? Having those three initials after your name is important. It gives you some, credibility, and it enabled me to get a job at Deloitte, which was an incredible experience. But I think it's less about the degree, and I think it was more about what the environment at Walsh got out of me, right? It was very challenging. It was a very demanding program, and I kind of had to step up to the challenge. And what that did is it pulled out of me my desire to understand and solve problems, my desire to really appreciate how things work and apply that to solving problems in the business world. So it really wasn't about the degree. I mean, the degree's degree, when the debits are on the right side, credits are on the left side, right? All that kind of stuff. But it was really pulling out of me the desire to be the best I could be and apply my talents at where I chose to go as an adult. And that's really what I got out of Walsh. That was really the value that I got out of Walsh, and the professors that I had kind of helped me with that. Yeah, look, I think I had a few favorite classes at Walsh, all for different reasons. The least favorite of my favorite classes was corporate income tax. It was incredibly hard. It was the worst grade I ever got at Walsh. It was not a good grade for me. But what it did is it taught me about what am I good at and what am I not good at. How does my brain think and how doesn't it think? So that was hugely valuable for me, right? I didn't want to go down the path of tax and all of the detailed rules and regulations that you need to understand. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it just wasn't how my brain thought. I would say the second most favorite class I had was an economics course. And it was a very open-minded thinking course. And we were asked to read a bunch of economic thoughts and papers. that really opened my mind to a different world, a different way of thinking, and that there's more out there to think and learn. And that instilled in me a desire to stay current and read and understand um, economics and sociology and political science and all the interactions of those. It was very important for me to do that. And to this day, it's still a passion of mine to spend time reading that kind of stuff because my mind, I think it keeps it open to what's going on in the world. Arguably, my most favorite class was intermediate accounting taught by Rick Birschbach for a couple of reasons. One reason is Rick Birschbach is an incredible professor and did an incredible job. He had a knack of setting the standard and making sure it was high enough and you stretched yourself to get that standard. It's something I do today, and it made me super successful in my life, and I'm thankful for that. The other thing that Mr. Birschbach did is he taught us to understand how things worked. So don't just kind of memorize the concept and the question, but really understand how the mechanics of the accounting worked so you could apply that base understanding to any situation because it's transferable. Memorizing the particular concept or the particular idea is not, but understanding how it works is transferable. So those are three fundamentally different courses that to me, I all reflect on my favorites, but for different reasons. Do it for sure, of course, no question. You have a mind, you have a body, you have a soul. You got to keep all of them in good shape. And going back to school helps keep your mind in good shape for sure. But I think you need to do it with the right attitude and with the right mindset, right? So what do you personally want to get out of it? I started to go back to school when I retired, not because I want to get a degree to get a better job, because I don't need that anymore. But I went back because I wanted to learn new areas of thought and keep my brain active, to keep it alive, to take care of that part of the body. And so I think it's very, very important. But if you need to do it to get a job, that's great. You got to do it. But the intent to go there is not just to check the box, but is to actually learn and understand and make that part of who you are so you can make yourself better into the future. And that's really the intent of why you go to school to begin with. So look, it's a great time in your life, right? You are now unshackled, right? You went through life, you were raised in your family, which I'm sure was great, and they instilled the values in you that you had. Then you go to college and you start to become your own person, but now the shackles are off. It's all you, right? There's nothing holding you back from being the best that you can be. And focusing on that is really the secret to success, right? It's not about the other person, it's about you. How can you be the best you can be? What can you do to be the most successful person? You are employed to add value to a company. So you need to understand, how do I add value to that company and how can I make them be successful, right? But in return for that, you have to get value for yourself. So look at what you do regularly, the approaches you take to do it, and make sure that you are getting the right return for your investment in that company and that they are getting the right return in their investment for you. And if there's a mismatch there over time, then you may not be in the right place. You may need to change. If there is alignment there, then keep going for it and give value and get value for that. And that mindset to me is super important. The paycheck is important. How you handle the paycheck is very, very important. But really, are you getting value, and are you giving value, and are you getting value from that job that you have? To me, is the focus every day. I think Walsh gave me, it pulled out of me, it sparked in me, it found in me, it helped me pull out of me a desire to be the best I could be, right? To figure out who I am and how I can apply value the best way I can. And it's different than other people. Arguably not as good as other people, but hey, it's who I am. And that was the most rewarding part of the thing of Walsh. That's what I got most out of Walsh. That's why I have such passion for Walsh, is because for me, it pulled that out of me and it made me the best I can be. And when I look at my life, I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful. I have a great wife. I have great kids. I had a great career. Um, and I owe a lot of that to the experience that I had at Walsh and how it helped me focus on what really matters in the work world.